take a walk on the woo-woo side with me. My name is Michelle Douglas and I'm an intuitive healer, coach and soul regression therapist. I help people to create health, wellness and prosperity in their lives through a process of clearing harmful or restrictive energies or beliefs. My ultimate goal is to empower you to create the life that you desire. For more information, visit findmysparkle.com. Hello, it's Michelle here coming to you from sunny Queensland in Australia. So today we're going to be talking about negative self-talk and how it affects your health. So I've had a bit of a theme lately when working with my clients, listening to podcasts, doing some work on my husband, and it's all about self-talk. I've known for some time that self-talk can affect your health, but I wasn't exactly sure or aware of how much. So a few weeks ago, my hubby had to have major surgery where a large portion of his large intestine had to be removed, which sounds a bit scary, and it kind of was. So I had to wait for many hours to hear from the nurse to tell me that he was okay. Like, I knew he was going to be fine, but until you receive the phone call, you can't really relax. So his first day post-surgery was pretty horrible, and the nurses and doctors attempted to find him a painkiller that not only worked but didn't make him sick as well, and thankfully that was all under control before I left the hospital to come home. So while I was in the hospital, I did some healing work on him, as I do, and I was taken to a distortion in his energy field in the area near his sacral chakra. I could see a purple coloured blob sitting there, but I had no idea what it was all about. So I dug out my trusty book of chakras, and that's a really great book. If you want to get a copy, I'll put a link in the notes if you're wanting to learn more about the chakras and how they work. Anyway, I was skimming over the words, but not really reading them, and I have no idea why I was doing that, but a very clear message came into my mind, which was, watch yourself talk. So I knew this message was meant for my beautiful husband, and when I arrived at the hospital later that morning, I talked him through what I'd found, and he admitted, he'd been pretty rough on himself lately, but he trusts the messages I received, and he committed to making a shift as soon as possible. So since he stopped with the negative self-talk, his healing's been great. The doctors are really happy with his progress, and in a few weeks, he'll be able to build up his activities to where they were before his surgery, which is wonderful. Sometimes he catches himself thinking negative thoughts about himself or about anything, and he'll say in his mind, "These words are not serving me." He will then shift those words or those thoughts to more positive thoughts and say something kind instead, and that's working great. In my husband's case, his negative self-talk brought about a pretty serious intestinal problem. Others may or may not experience something that severe, but either way, you want to avoid that, right? So I'm sure I've brought this up before, but there was a scientist that experimented with positive and negative words and how they affected water. He'd have certain words directed at specific samples of water, and the crystals formed when each was frozen and they were quite different in the most incredible way. So the water samples who received positive words or thoughts reacted with beautifully shaped crystals. On the other hand, the samples who received negative words or thoughts reacted with messy-looking crystals in comparison. So given our bodies are made mostly of water, can you imagine what our words are doing to it, or our thoughts? Just think about that, hey? So what can you do if you catch yourself speaking negatively? Well, thinking negatively as well. If you've always been quite hard on yourself, or you've been a quite negative thinker, it's very likely something you're doing subconsciously. So the following steps will help you to shift this action into something that works for your greatest good. First step's awareness. Now that you understand how negative self-talk can affect your health, you'll be more likely to catch yourself as you're saying something nasty or negative. Once you catch yourself, just like my husband does, say, "These words are not serving me," and then replace those words with something positive. You could say something like, "I am doing my best and I'm learning more every day." Or you can just simply repeat a positive affirmation. So I've got affirmations all over my desk here at the moment, and I pick one, say that, and then get into the emotion of that affirmation. Third thing you can do is think about the words you've spoken to yourself and ask if you would speak them to somebody you really loved. If the answer is no, then it's time to stop saying them. Self-love, and I'm not talking about self-love in an arrogant sort of way, is about accepting yourself, warts and all, just like you would with somebody you truly loved. It's about being kind with your words and thoughts. It's not about putting yourself first in a selfish kind of way, but a self-care type of way. So from now on, I ask you to be aware of your self-talk, and for the rest of your life, I want you to be kind to yourself and others. So if you're currently struggling with a health issue, take note of any improvements you experience as you become kinder with your words and more positive with your words and thoughts, and you may be quite surprised. So to give you a little bit of an example of how quickly negative thoughts can affect you. This morning, I woke up and I was mulling over a negative situation that I didn't like, and I kept mulling over it and over it and over it until I put my back out. And I wasn't doing anything much to do that to my back, but what happened was, because I was in such a negative space, my body had no option but to go blah, to malfunction on me. So what I need, once I became aware of what I'd been doing, I started saying my positive affirmations and repeating them over and over and over again, because, and like, it's made a difference. I am feeling a bit better, but I'm still in quite a big amount of pain. But I know that I brought this on through my negative thinking. So if you are doing that to yourself, stop it. So until next time, let's hope I'm in better shape then. We'll see you later.